Easter eggs in the MCU not only act as fun nods to the rich history of Marvel Comics, but often can tease us of what's to come, or what's not to come. There have been countless times where we've been shown glimpses or hints of characters only to watch them drop off the map faster than the MCU's Quicksilver. How many characters did the Incredible Hulk tease only to forget about them? Who do we desperately want to see in the next Spider-Man movie? And should Age of Ultron have included even more Android characters besides Ultron and Vision? Well, we have your answers, and some possible ways these characters could pop up in the MCU in the future.
Activating instant kill.
No, I don't want to kill anybody.
Spider-Man Homecoming introduced us to a whole new different Peter Parker than we've come to expect in the movies. Aunt May felt more youthful, characters were presented in all different ways, and we got a glimpse of what this Spidey world could expand to in the future. A future that contained Miles Morales. In a short scene from Homecoming, Parker tries his hand at crime-fighting interrogations with Aaron Davis, played by Donald Glover. Davis is actually the uncle of another famous Spider-Man, Miles Morales. He not only mentions his nephew, but in a Homecoming deleted scene, Davis calls his nephew and refers to him as Miles. So what happened with the great shoutout? Nothing. We did get to see Miles' epic story during Into the Spider-Verse, but after years and years of Peter Parker films, we're ready for a live-action Miles Morales story on the big screen. With renewed life in the Spider-Man and MCU connection and crossover agreement, maybe Miles will finally debut in the next movie. With Peter's identity revealed, a new Spider-Man may need to take over, creating the perfect scenario for Miles to step up. Did you ever wish the Avengers could take on a character with a giant head? And no, we're not talking about Edward Norton's ego making a big return. We are talking about the Incredible Hulk, though, and the huge teaser we got at the end of the movie. After Mr. Blue, aka Samuel Stearns, gets exposed to some of Bruce Banner's blood through an open head wound, we see him pulsating and growing in size. This could only mean one thing. Just like his comic book counterpart, he was transforming into the Leader. The Leader is a genius villain who uses his massive brain to outwit and outsmart characters like the Hulk. Actor Tim Blake Nelson was even signed on for multiple film appearances, but the only time we saw Stearns again was in the Avengers Prelude comic known as Fury's Big Week. Black Widow shoots the guy in the leg and takes him into S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. Maybe if Professor Hulk ever gets a solo movie, we will see the Professor take on the Leader in an intellectual matchup, one where a lot of stuff will probably get smashed along the way. The Avengers Age of Ultron introduced us to a number of new MCU characters, including the Scarlet Witch, her brother Quicksilver, and Vision. Lost among the mix? Dr. Helen Cho. Cho was vital in helping Tony Stark create both Ultron and Vision, proving her massive intellect and the ability to work with some of the best minds in the field. She had a good amount of screen time and was saved by Captain America before getting invited to work at the new Avengers facility. Well, she must be in a new secret sector because after the Age of Ultron, we never saw Cho again. And besides her impressive work life, we never learned about her family life or a possible son she has at home. In the comics, Cho is the mother to Amadeus Cho, a character who becomes close with Bruce Banner and eventually transforms into totally awesome Hulk and a hero simply known as Brawn. For some reason, Cho dropped off the map and didn't even have a cameo during all the sequences at the Avengers facility during Endgame. If she ever does return, maybe her son will be aged a lot older and join the good fight. Avengers Endgame provided closure for the journey of Captain America, but we may have been teased with a whole new captain in the process, Captain Britain. The moment comes during the scenes where Steve Rogers travels back to 1970 in an attempt to retrieve the Space Stone. Rogers spots the love of his life, Peggy Carter, through a glass window where she goes over mission briefs with an assistant. Even though the movie's score overtakes everything we can hear, the movie's subtitles reveal that Braddock's unit has been stopped by lightning strikes. So who exactly is Braddock? Well, it likely stands for Brian Braddock, better known as Captain Britain. Of course, the journey to 1970 was only brief and we never got any follow-up, but the moment did get fans excited for a possible Captain Britain moment in the future. With the Red Guardian making his debut in the Black Widow movie, we would love to see an international collection of heroes go at it. With Braddock's mention in 1970, we may never see the hero in modern-day action. The post-credit MCU scenes are almost as important as the Marvel movies themselves, including the epic ones we witnessed in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The movie features a total of 5 post-credit scenes, but the one we're focused on today featured the gold-tinted High Priestess Aisha. In the scene, we witness a whole new type of birthing pod, one the High Priestess claims will create a being more powerful than ever before, with the ultimate goal of defeating the Guardians of the Galaxy. The name of the being is key here, as she simply states, Adam. Well, she was definitely referring to Adam Warlock, the classic Marvel character. Considering how Warlock played a pivotal part in the Infinity War comic books, we all expected to see him pop up in those films, but he didn't make his debut. All is not lost though. Warlock could be lined up for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. When people refer to the Human Torch, the Fantastic Four typically comes to mind, but in this case, we're referring to the OG Torch, better known as Jim Hammond. He was actually one of the very first superheroes created for the pages of Marvel Comics, and the MCU gave him a fun nod in Captain America: The First Avenger. When Steve Rogers and Bucky attend the Stark Expo, you can see the Human Torch's android suit and body on display. The fun Easter egg moment was never followed up on or referenced again in the MCU. They even had some great chances to include the Human Torch in the Agent Carter TV series, but dropped the ball. Considering how the movie was dubbed The First Avenger, they must have enjoyed highlighting one of the first Marvel heroes. Maybe a time-traveling story between Loki or Doctor Strange could help bring the Human Torch back in the fold again? Or maybe he'll just fall by the wayside as we get another Fantastic Four version of the Human Torch character in the MCU. Much like how Nick Fury has become a mainstay in the MCU, so has General Thaddeus Ross. After debuting in The Incredible Hulk, Ross has returned for small roles in films like Captain America: Civil War, The Avengers: Endgame, and the upcoming Black Widow movie. While we've all gotten to see a ton of Ross in the MCU, we are waiting for his alter ego to make an appearance, the Red Hulk. Red Hulk is a recent Marvel character who debuted in 2008. The Red Hulk versus Hulk storyline brings a lot of personal connection to Bruce Banner and provides a huge force for Hulk to battle against. Despite Red Hulk and Ross's connection, there were no signs of Red Hulk making an appearance up until now. Rumors have spread that Red Hulk will debut in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. Turning him into a huge villain could help tie into his years of trying to legally bring the Avengers under control. He could finally unravel, go under experiments, and truly take things into his own hands with the newfound powers. Did you enjoy the android battles between Vision and Ultron? Yeah, the Avengers sequel doesn't quite hold up as well as others, but imagine how great it could have been if Ultron got a love interest. Yeah, that's right, in the comics, Ultron creates his own android love in the form of Jocasta, a female android with similar abilities and skills. If it seems too far-fetched to be a big screen story, well, it probably would have gone better than the whole Black Widow and Bruce Banner love thing. Anyway, Jocasta was actually teased during Age of Ultron. After Jarvis gets placed into Vision's body, Tony Stark browses through multiple options before selecting Friday. One of the options available, Jocasta. The main problem with using Jocasta in Age of Ultron was that the character's mind, voice, and personality were all based off of the original Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, who had not yet debuted in the MCU. Jocasta may not be lost forever. With Janet alive and well, Scott Lang needs a new enemy for Ant-Man 3, and Jocasta could be one of our answers, especially if some type of Janet drama is involved. Do you remember the Marvel classic Man-Thing? Yeah, us either. Unless you stay up till 3 in the morning watching cheap, scary movies on the Sci-Fi Network, that would be just about the only place to watch the 2005 disaster known as Man-Thing. The Marvel character was turned into a train wreck, and thankfully this wasn't the start of the MCU at the time. Now, with the chance to use Man-Thing again, Marvel teased us in Thor Ragnarok with the Grandmaster's Tower. The exterior of the tower features the faces of past champions, including Beta Ray Bill and Man-Thing. Imagine how epic it would have been to see Hulk go up against Man-Thing in the battle arena. Man-Thing doesn't need his own movie, but the character could add some nice monster elements to the MCU. Just the presence of his character could fit in pretty perfectly with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Can you name one of the biggest Marvel heroes to never appear in the MCU? Well, besides Wolverine, besides Professor X. Okay, just put the X-Men to the side for a moment. We're talking about Nova, the powerful being who rules over the Nova Corps. Well, in Guardians of the Galaxy, We definitely got some great Nova Corps action, but Richard Rider or the iconic Nova suit was nowhere to be found. Rumors waged on for months about the hero appearing in Avengers Endgame, but this was not the case. The Russos even teased fans about his appearance as an Easter egg in the final battle, but their comments were just said in jest. As the MCU branches out into space more and more, we have to imagine one of the next stops will be a visit with Nova. But will he appear in a film like Guardians of the Galaxy, or will we get a fun solo origin story? Either way, fans would be ecstatic if Nova finally made his live-action debut. How frustrating are some of these teases? Which ones do you want to see come to life the most? Which ones do you think will never come true? Should there be another live-action Spider-Man? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more great Marvel content, and thanks for watching.